The over-under, the total was 46.5 for Oklahoma Kent State, and that's about the only thing that did not go according to plan for the Oklahoma Sooners. Let's talk about the form that the Sooners are in right as Texas is falling apart. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a stat mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year-round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think that Oklahoma is going to beat Texas at OU Texas next week, given what you've seen from Texas losing to Florida 29-21 and what you saw from Oklahoma against Kent State and the rest of the year as they beat down Kent State 44-0? And this was a resounding win for Oklahoma and the defensive showcase that we wanted. I said going into this one, it's all about Michael Hawkins and whether or not the defense can get a takeaway. The defense got a takeaway in the third quarter. It was a strip sack fumble recovery for a touchdown. So that no longer the only team at FBS without a turnover, which was a wild stat for a Brent Venables defense that had been destroying people. We're also looking at this from the standpoint of what they allowed for Kent State to do, which is not much of anything. I mean, I thought Drew DeShields was going to be the starter in this one. Apparently not. Devin Cargan went 7 of 15 for just 68 yards in this game. And as a team, Kent State had 33 rushes for 17 friggin' yards. That is defensive dominance by the Sooners. More defensive dominance. Kent State was 2 of 13 on third down, 1 of 3 on fourth down, 135 total yards. I mentioned 17 on the ground, sacked 5 times, 2 turnovers in this one. Oklahoma, again, played great defense, and the offense was so-so. I did not see the kind of stellar performance that I wanted to see from the run game and from Michael Hawkins. He started out well, and I wanted it to end well. He started out completing about 75% of his passes. He ended 14 of 24 for 162 with 3 TDs. But he's out there trying to play the game now like he's John Mateer, and he's not, man. You're throwing this ball sidearm, and you're trying to throw it to the other team. You're not going through your progressions. And I get that Ben Arbuckle is trying to give him opportunities to run with the ball and use that skill set. And he was able to get, 9 for 33 without adjusting for the sack yards. But Torrey Blaylock was the only guy that really felt like he had a read on how to run the football here. 15 rushes for 79 yards in this one. And Jaden Knight got some carries, which is nice to see. Still don't know what the hell we got to do to see Xavier Robinson or not. Isaiah Satanga had 4 catches, 75 yards in this one. But again, it's the dominance of the defense that I think is going to carry Oklahoma. And the last time that Oklahoma played for a national championship, the defense was dominant, right? I know you remember that 2008 Oklahoma was setting all sorts of offensive records too, but they had a great defense till they played Florida. The last time it won a national championship, it was only the defense, right? That's what it was. It was Torrance Marshall coming to get his boys Heisman back because Josh Heupel was the representative for the Heisman trophy for Oklahoma, which was not giving up much of anything defensively. This year, it feels similarly. We're talking about an OU team that is vibing right when it needs to ahead of the most important game on the schedule this year. They are 5-0, getting ready to play an OU Texas game where Texas has lost 2 games and lost 1 to an unranked and 1-3 Florida. They're not going to get much softer a target than they are right now. And this is before we talk about whether or not John Mateer comes back for this game. If John Mateer can play in this game, you're a Texas fan, maybe don't go to the fair. Maybe go to the fair, but don't go to the game. You know what I'm saying? It could get nasty for you over here. And you're due. It's that time. Because Oklahoma's also just been, my God, ruthless when it comes to allowing people to score. And Brent Venables has been teeing off on quarterbacks who are inconsistent in the passing game and scared back there. If you got happy feet, he's coming for you. Ask Bryce Underwood how that went. They gave up 3 points against Illinois State. They gave up 13 against Michigan. They gave up 3 against Temple. They gave up 17 against Auburn and 0 to Kent State. If you're Texas, you got to do better than 17. And even then, Oklahoma's going to score at least 24, right? It scored at least 24 in every game that it's played so far this season. And it looks like a top 5 team. It looks like a top 5 defense. It looks like the kind of team that is capable of contending for the SEC championship in a year where Texas taking a loss, Tennessee's taking a loss, Georgia's taking a loss, right? A&M is undefeated. Missouri is undefeated. Those are your SEC teams. Ole Miss, right? LSU's taking a loss. This is a year for Oklahoma for it to all come together, even with the injury to the star quarterback that wasn't able to go against Kent State in a game that would have padded his stats for the Heisman Trophy, almost certainly. But you'd much rather have him healthy for the rest of the way. Now, whether or not he gets to play against OU Texas, again, we're still waiting on that. could be back for South Carolina, and would likely be back in time for Tennessee. But given that he had the best hand surgeon in the world working on it and gave it rave reviews after the fact, there's every indication that if he is healthy enough to play, he will. And at 80%, 75%, he's still better than most of college football. I know this because John Mateer broke his hand on the first passing play from scrimmage against Auburn and still threw for 271 yards and still finished 14 of 16 in the second half against Auburn's defense, which looked better than Texas's defense did today against Florida in a game that they needed to win to ensure that they would have some momentum going into this game where people were going to give them the benefit of the doubt if Arch Manning could showcase the ability that we thought he might have. Instead, it was DJ Lagway that looked like the better quarterback, 21 of 28 for 298 with 2 TDs. Also had an outstanding run game, 27 rushes for 107 yards for Jaden Ball. Also had a great receiver in Dallas Wilson making his debut, 6 catches, 111 yards, 2 TDs. First Florida receiver to make a debut with 100 receiving yards and 2 TDs in 30 years. That all happened against Texas. Now, add to that, Oklahoma doesn't just have Deion Burks, got Isaiah Satanga. If Torrey Blaylock comes on the way that Jaden Baugh did, and John Mateer is doing John Mateer stuff, and Oklahoma's defense is doing what it did today, and what it did against Auburn, and what it did against Temple, what it did against Illinois State, what it did against Michigan, I feel good about this. I have not felt this good about an OU Texas game for Oklahoma going into it in some time. I didn't feel this good in 2023. You know, it's a nice feeling, and I'm gonna let it flow over your mans. You know, man, I'm gonna bask in the glow. I'm gonna choose to be positive about this because there's all reasons to be negative about this. There's all sorts of reasons why. Hey, maybe pipe down, RJ. You know what I'm saying? Like John Mateer ain't played, and we saw the Mike Hawkins that you saw, and that ain't the guy. That ain't the guy. That is the QB2. That is not the QB1. I hear you. But the defensive line has been way better than I thought it would be, and I'm being sincere about that. Great play at linebacker. And again, we're talking about an outstanding display of stopping people from entering the end zone. This is all good news. This is great news. This is what Brent Venables became the head coach of Oklahoma to do. And I just don't see that if it ain't going to be now, I'm not sure what it's got to look like, guys. I get it that John Mateer is not fully healthy. But this is a ripe banana to peel at the Cotton Bowl on Saturday, and Texas fans know it. Just watch what they got to say in the comments below.